All right, everybody, welcome to Muckin and Grindin. A lot of postponements in these games. The COVID protocols are killing these teams. So contact tracing is putting a lot of teams behind the eight ball, making them shut down their facilities and stuff like that. The schedule is going to be really cramped. At the end of the season, there's going to be a lot of teams playing back to back. They're going to be a little pissy about that, but I mean, there's not too much we can do about that. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, what are you supposed to do? I mean, that's league protocol. That's the way it's going to be. Little tidbits of notes. Ovechkin passes Mike Gardner with 709 goals. He's 8 behind Phil Esposito right now for 6th place. Justin Williams was hired by the Hurricanes as a special advisor to the general manager. I have little notes here on my phone here, so it's helping me out a little bit. Let's see. The Coyotes and Blues are rescheduled for Saturday and Monday. Pens get back on the ice tomorrow also, hopefully. Avalanche have four games postponed to COVID. It's actually kind of comical in a way if you think about it. You know what I mean? I understand the protocols and I understand the risks involved, but we're at a point where it's either you might as well just shut it down, everybody down for 2 weeks, and then just bring it back, almost like you do for the Olympics. Just give it somewhat of a break, and just I don't. There's not much else you can do. I mean, injuries are hot and heavy with everybody. The only one on the list for the Pens with the COVID protocols is John Marino. Mike Sullivan declined to get involved in that conversation. It's kind of like league protocol. They're not really allowed to talk about it. It's kind of like a HIPAA violation for them also. The general manager search for the Pens has expanded. They had a couple guys interviewed. Kevin Weeks was one of them. They've actually interviewed Patrick Alvin, the guy who's on the interim right now. The other speculation was they had, I don't know if it was speculation or if it actually came true, was they were granted permission to talk to Ron Hextall about the position. It'd be kind of weird for Hextall to come in here, considering, being with Philadelphia's full career. To me, honestly, I mean, we're at a point now where we could have a new up and coming guy, a new face, guy who knows the league, who knows all the insiders, things like that. Kevin Weeks would be fantastic. I would love to see him get an opportunity. He's a great guy. I'm one of those people. I don't care what color you are as long as you do a good job. I mean, I know Kevin Weeks is African American. He does a fantastic job on NHL Network. I love listening to all his stuff. His insight on Twitter is fantastic. He's just an all-around good guy. I mean, his insight is like I said, it's fantastic. The other thing would be is there's no experience there. So that's one of the problems that we have. The lack of experience. It would be fantastic for him to get that experience, with a club that's still at the top of their game. I mean, they're not maybe top 3 or 4 in the conference anymore, but they're still, middle of the road team that has, still some upside. The other thing, there's other, front office people in the NHL, like I'm dropping her name now. I'm going to do a little write up about it this weekend to have, like, for Black History Month. She's one of the head scouts or assistants to the GM and for Los Angeles. I'm drawing a blank on her name right now, but I'm going to do a little write up, a little history about her in the sport, because she still plays actually in the NWHL right now, and a couple other very notable Black athletes in hockey. Willie O'Ree, the first Black hockey player. There was a story I actually saw on NHL Network. It was in college, it was the first Black full line to actually play together. I'm going to do a little write-up about those guys. Listening to their story and watching it was actually, those guys were quite funny. They were comical about it. When they got onto the ice together, they line up for a face-off. One guy looks at the other guy, he said, wait a minute, we're all brothers out here. It was just funny, the comedy that came along with it, because they didn't think nothing of it. Guys they were playing against in college, there was some certain teams that gave them crap about it, but it's one of those things that a lot of guys, they're playing a game. You know what I mean? The teammates are teammates, whether they're white, black, pink, green, or purple. There's Grant Fuhr, one of my all-time favorite goaltenders, playing for the Edmonton Oilers. Let's see. I'll do some stuff, a little write-up on him. I'm gonna have like a little, like I may do, like a page a day, maybe. I'm not exactly sure. I gotta find some time. I got some, housework to do, obviously, but that's not a big deal, because these write-ups are going to be pretty good. I don't do much of the writing stuff. That's not my cup of tea. But it's something that I really enjoy, like the sport. So it's definitely one of the things that, it helped build hockey. Willie O'Ree and, other players like, revitalizing the positions, or guys like PK Subban, who do so much off the ice and in the community and for, hospitals and things like that. There's just a lot of fantastic things, and it's just not just those guys. There's a lot of good people in the NHL. You don't see the headlines with NHL guys that you see with other sports, the bad headlines, which is I'm not exactly sure if it's the family upbringing. I can't say anything to that. I mean, like, usually the family upbringing is because you're brought up to know that family matters because you're getting a 3:30 in the morning ice time, or you're driving 4.5 hours to get to that ice time. So, it's a bond, and you become closer knit with your family, and you find the decency and respect in your coaches that you've had through the years teach you the respect of the game, plus hey, you respect your other line mates because they got your back. I find the whole thing, it's just fascinating to get into the history of it. There's a lot of interesting things that you never see on the front page, or you don't see a lot of in the websites and stuff like that. You got to do a little bit of digging sometimes and find old interviews of of guys, just on, like, not candid interviews, but just like off the cuff stuff when these guys sit there and speak. I said to send a message to Kevin Weeks to if he landed a general manager's job, that I get exclusive rights to interview him after he gets it. I'm still waiting to hear back from him. It's going to probably take a while because they're busy with, NHL stuff. But the season's going to keep going on. the scoreboard. Let's see if there's any. I don't really know who's actually, if anybody's playing tonight or not. I don't think there is. Just for the fact of all the COVID protocols, killing the games tonight. There's a lot of guys that are out. I'm gonna take a look. Actually, Philly and Boston are playing. Florida's playing Nashville. There's only a couple games on the docket tonight, but yeah, I'm just frustrated with the whole postponement of games. You just start getting going, and these guys are already having to take a couple days off because the contact tracing that they find that, this guy was near somebody who was near somebody that was near somebody that, that may have come in contact with somebody with COVID. And like, we're going to have to come to a point where we, as a society, like, get back to fans in the stands. Everybody go back to, somewhat normalcy. I mean, you're going to have it's a harsh way to put it, germaphobes who are like, oh, I got to stay away from people. That's fine. I understand that. Some people are, a little more susceptible than others, and I get it. But like being all huddled up and hushed up and everything, could cause more problems later down the line with, immune systems and stuff like that. But I'm not a doctor. I'm just going by, pure speculation, and out of frustration of being a fan that can't go to a game and can't enjoy my $13 beer with my $85 seat next to some goof that doesn't even know the game. And when we score, we high five like we're best buddies. I miss that. I miss those times. I'm getting really, really tired of not being able to be a fan in person. It's utterly frustrating. It's the Penguins have done phenomenal things at the arena where, it's contactless and stuff like that. But I mean, they put all this stuff in, but they still don't have any fans in there. I just find it that our local governments and stuff like that are ridiculous, that they're holding it back, and enough's enough. Down in Florida, they have, I think Tampa Bay did 3,500 fans. Arizona had X amount of fans. This place had X amount of fans. This place had X amount of fans. But we don't. And I just don't find it, I don't want to say fair. I mean, because that's not the right way to put it. It's just one of those things where I believe that, hey, these arenas fit 17 to 20,000 people. You can put 5,000-6,000 people in these things safely without people coming near each other. Let's get some kind of normalcy out of this. It's just, I'm way past over it. I'm tired of looking at you go to the injury report. Most of these guys aren't injured; they're just out because out. It says out -COVID. It's killing my show. I know, because I don't really have a whole hell of a lot to talk about because there's nothing going on. Like, we had a good start to the season. Everything was going okay. The Penguins power play right now is god awful. Let's go. I'm just going to full-fledged go right into that. So we try to pass, pretty pass. Oh, guess what? Maybe you got to shoot the damn puck just so it gets on net. Like, pass off the pads. It's not that hard of a process. Look at it this way. When you're down by one goal and you need to tie it up to get that loser point or that tie point, you're going balls to the wall and you're throwing everything at the net. Everything goes to the net, everything. And you're hoping for a lucky bounce or, bounce off somebody else or a tip or something like that. Do the same thing on the power play. What's the difference? There's no flipping difference. I don't understand why these coaches sit there and pass it around the freaking perimeter just to look for that perfect freaking play. Shoot the damn puck. And if you're not going to shoot it, sit your ass down because I'm pretty sure some other chucklehead's going to come out there and want to freaking play. He's going to want to put it on net. Pierre-Olivier Joseph and John Marino both did that when they played the power play. Those freaking guys logged 30 minutes apiece the other night, which was fantastic. It shows you don't need freaking Chris Letang's sorry ass, who's actually healthy again. So is Matheson and Zach Aston Reese. Drew O'Connor is going to be the odd man out because Zach Aston Reese comes back. Zach Aston Reese, like, he's become Bill Bennett Part 2. He's like, every time he's out on the ice, he ends up getting hurt. I'm tired of seeing it. He brings nothing to the table for me. Yeah, Sean, I was shoot the puck up and pick up the garbage. Yep, kind of like, picking up chicken wings and watching WWE, right? Sorry, buddy, I'm just busting your chops. But hey, now, it's like, I love Drew O'Connor playing on that fourth line with Colton Sevier and Sam Lafferty. They had great energy. It was decent sizing, great speed. But you're going to bring Zach Aston Reese back, who hasn't played in over a year, who's 99.9% of the time injured. I don't know. I saw a snippet today. Sam Bennett from the Calgary Flames wants out. He's a decent center. He's still, I think he's 27, 26, 27, maybe. I may be wrong. Let's see if I can find this. See if I can find any info on Sam Bennett before I go nuts. Sam Bennett. He's got 1 assist so far this season. He's a -5. Let's see how old he actually is. He is, where is it? He is 20, he'll be 25. I was off. He's 24 right now. He'll be 25. 6'1", 200-pound center, can play left wing. Through his career, he's not a bad player. He's a great face-off guy. The career stats, let's see, in Calgary, he's 18, 13, 11, 13. He's a 10 to 20 goal guy. He's, good for 30, 40 points. And I have no problem with that. He actually picks it up in the playoffs. His playoff numbers are actually really good. He played 10 games in the playoffs last year, had 8 points, 5 goals, 3 assists. Last season, he was five games, or the season before that, he had 5 games in the playoffs, he had a goal and 4 assists. Those are good playoff numbers. Those aren't nothing to cry about. I've always said that either him or Sean Monahan, I would love to see in a Penguin uniform because they could be that young Jordan Staal-esque, but could score more player. And you could start that rebuilding process. Plus, there has been video. Let's see if I can actually find it again. TJ Kiger actually had it on his Facebook page yesterday, I think, with Nathan Legare and Sam Poulin playing with actually one of the guys from Calgary. He's one of their prospects. They are just tearing the minor leagues apart where they're playing, and it's just fantastic to watch. I'll have to pull it up and share it on the Loudmouth page. And shout out to Courtney and George for getting us the Loudmouth Entertainment LLC. That's huge. That's getting us going in the right direction. Have friends, have them join the group, join the page. There's a couple little questions they're going to answer, and then they get approved and jump in the group. They can talk, any sport, including wrestling. Sean, sorry. It's a great group of guys as long as Courtney doesn't call anybody dog anymore. I think we should be all right. Um, this is one of the things that I love about sports is you got a bunch of it's all camaraderie where people can agree to disagree and still be decent and respectful about it. Every once in a while you get a couple chuckleheads that are you sit there and just roll your eyes and you're like, are you serious? Come on, man, like pump the brakes a little bit, relax, we're talking sports. Just have a good time talking with your friends. Add them to the Loudmouth Sports group. We need the followers, man. I was like, we're doing fantastic with that. We're almost at 3,000 people. Hey, Barstool Sports wasn't built in a day. Loudmouth is on its way. Fantastic things to come. We're heading in the right direction, which is great. Maybe in our future we'll have some podcasts and stuff like that. I mean, I'm setting myself up. I'm starting to, buy little things here and there to help, get, some things started, help myself, on my show. Eventually I'm going to have a spot where I'll actually be in a little room where I'll have my own little show set up and everything like that, instead of you guys always having to look at my kids behind me, which I'm proud of my kids, but I'm pretty sure you guys don't like looking at them all the time. Put up some of the hockey memorabilia and stuff like that. We'll, get it going. And, I'm excited to have some things going, our way for a change. It's nice that, we got a great group of guys. Sean and Luch do great with the wrestling. Robbie's doing good with the baseball. Damon, those guys are doing good things with basketball. I guess, football, I guess, George and Courtney are doing all right on there, I guess. You got the big game coming up this weekend. There'll be very little hockey on this weekend. I know Saturday's a full docket except the postponed games. Like I said earlier, I'm gonna do a couple little write-ups, probably like 5 different ones. I'm not exactly sure when I'll be, releasing them, but I know I'm not going to do them in any particular order or anything like that. Just, my own personal little, how I feel about, the write up and everything like that. Write it from me, not from somebody else, not like copy and paste and, things like that. Just enjoy reading it, a couple other perspectives from it, and then coming up with my own little synopsis for it and, let you guys see it. And we'll go from there and get some, comments and, hopefully we'll get some banter back and forth. I mean, there's, quite a few guys. I always see, commenting on the post, like TJ's always commenting. It was always good. John, I'm not going to say his last name because I know how it feels because, how to get your last John D. I don't want to butcher his last name, but there's always good, interaction with him. I just, I do enjoy the camaraderie that comes along with it. Hey, if I get something wrong, my boy Brian Moe, I grew up with, he's down in Virginia. I'm pretty sure that's exactly where he's at. He's down in Virginia. He's selling homes down there. He's a former radio DJ. My boy Len Williams, who's a radio DJ out there in Colorado. He's very involved with, talking to everybody on different, sports and stuff like that. Maybe we can set up a time where we can get, a couple of these guys on the show. We'll have like a little round table, event or something like that. I can, we could set something up, send a message out to a couple guys and sit there and we'll BS and talk hockey. We'll talk beer and we'll talk getting old. Because that's kind of all we do anymore. But yeah, like I think I'll set it up for like a week or two from now. Since the Super Bowl's this weekend, maybe we'll set it up. I'll send a message out to a couple of you guys and see if you guys want to join the show. And we'll sit around and we'll BS and you can have your favorite drink of choice sitting around. I got a couple feelers out there to Kevin Weeks and Mike Rupp, Mike Commodore, for a couple former NHL guys. There's a few others I've sent messages to, just waiting to hear back. Sometimes they send you a message. Sometimes they don't. It's just putting the feelers out there. So, but yeah, as of now, Pens are doing halfway decent. Goaltending has been kind of supposedly suspect. I mean, you can't block everything. Your decore's got to get better. I mean, once these guys are all healthy again and they get games under their belts, I think they'll be better. They're moving in the right direction. They are getting younger. I still, I think the D group is better without Letang. I think it's faster and it's a lot smarter because the decision making with Yannick Weber playing with Chad Ruhwedel, the decision making has been fantastic. These guys are making better decisions with the puck, and they're not. Cody Ceci, everybody's favorite whipping boy, Jack Johnson. Everybody said, "Oh, well, this guy's going to be it." So he's played very well. Yannick Weber has honestly been a pleasant surprise. I mean, granted, he's only getting 10 to 13 minutes a game, but when you don't notice him, that's a good thing because he's not coughing up the puck and making, mistakes and stuff like that. Granted, he is 32 years old, but he still can move. I was, really impressed with his play the other day. He's physical and he's smart with the puck. So we'll just have to wait till tomorrow's game, see what happens. Hopefully it does not get postponed. As of now, I mean, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to post some Black History Month in the NHL write-ups for you. Be great reads. I'll, tag the group and hopefully, you guys read them. Tell me what you think. Can't wait to actually see what you guys think of the stories, and then we'll go from there. And hey, feel free to hit me up anytime in the group on my own Facebook page, but however you want to do it. If you have questions, feel free. I'll talk to you guys later. Enjoy the weekend. It's supposed to be frigid from this weekend on, so it'll be great hockey weather. You guys take care of yourselves.